For a deeper look at the government shutdown and what it means, we're joined by CBS News political correspondent Ed O'Keefe. Ed's on Capitol Hill. Ed, good morning.
Good morning, guys.
How long is this standoff likely to last, Ed?
Good question, Anthony. The Senate will reconvene later today. If we don't hear about significant progress between congressional leaders in the White House by dinner time tonight, I think we're looking at a situation that probably continues up until and perhaps just beyond New Year's Day. And it's at that point that I think most Americans will really start to take notice. Look, most people are traveling. They're focused on baking cookies today, getting to grandma's house for Christmas. They're not necessarily paying attention to this, especially if the Santa tracker's still on. If they had shut that off, maybe things would be different.
Yeah, let's get our priorities.
But,
yes.
Yeah, but we're going to see here by the end of today, probably congressional leaders say, okay, everybody go home, cool off, come back here starting the 26th, and maybe then we can figure out something. But if we hear later this afternoon, perhaps, that there is a deal, great. Maybe they get it done by tomorrow.
Ed, the Senate unanimously approved this, and the president just shut it down. He just said no way. So is this really an effective way to govern?
Yeah, what the Senate had done earlier this week essentially was say, we can continue this fight in February. Let's just keep everything open, continue funding government operations at a certain level. The president said, no, I want that $5 billion I've been asking for. Is this an effective way to govern? That's a question I think that really can't be answered until this is over and we see how long it runs out and who ultimately gets the blame. This is the third shutdown this calendar year, the fourth since House Republicans took control of the House of Representatives back in 2011. It has happened in the last few years, and yet people haven't necessarily suffered political consequences because of these showdowns. So while this is a fight that the president has clearly been asking for, has tweeted about, has said that he thinks could be good for the system, we'll see whether he takes the blame or whether his last-minute push here to put it on the Democrats succeeds.
Ed, along those lines, is there any sense of who is getting that kind of blame? We have the president in his own words actually saying that he will take the blame for all of this from that meeting that he had with Schumer and Pelosi about a week ago.
Yeah, Dana, the most frustrating parts of these situations is that they spend the first few hours, maybe days, blaming each other
right,
and trying to establish who exactly is at fault, and then they try to clean up the mess and put it all back together again. We're in the midst of that right now. Overnight, Democrats repeatedly saying it is the Trump shutdown. That video right there of the president saying he would take the blame for it will be on a loop if Democrats have any say in all of this. Of course, the president now trying to say it is the Democrats' fault. The reason he can say that is that in the Senate, remember, you need 60 votes to get something through of this magnitude. They don't have that right now. You require a bipartisan deal. There are no Democrats who want to sign up for a $5 billion border wall deal. There are several Republicans who are skeptical of it as well.
And meanwhile, Ed, the Democrats take control of the House in the new year.
Right, and the dynamics, Anthony, will change. This is important for people to realize. The longer this goes, the more the influence of House Republicans diminishes. And if this goes beyond January 2nd, here's the thing. Come January 3rd, Nancy Pelosi and the House Democrats have to write new spending legislation to reopen the government because the current congressional session will have expired. Now with their power, they'll be able to write the bill that says, let's put things back together again. They'll have to cut the deal with Republicans in the Senate and the White House. So the dynamics here over the course of this, if it runs a long while, will begin to shift, and more of the emphasis, more of the influence on this will go over to House Democrats.
And certainly, Ed, no guarantee that President Trump will like what he receives.
Exactly.
Thank you so much.